Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Warriors trade proposal flips Moses Moody for elite rim protector. With no clear path to significant rotation minutes for Moses Moody entering the final year of his rookie-scale contract, it could be in the best interest for him and the Golden State Warriors to part ways. A trade proposal from Sports Illustrated would see the Warriors flipping Moody and one of their draft capital for the second-best rim protector last season. Warriors receive, Walker Kessler. Jazz receive, Moses Moody and 2026 first-round pick, top 7 protected. Bleacher Report's Eric Pincus reported on August 23 that Kessler doesn't seem part of the Utah Jazz's long-term plan. The Warriors should capitalize and target Kessler, who has 2 years left on his rookie deal. A Naismith Defensive Player of the Year in his final season with the North Carolina Tar Heels, Kessler's defensive skill set translated well in the NBA. Last season, he was the league's second-best shot blocker with 2.4 per game, behind San Antonio Spurs Rookie of the Year Victor Wembanyama, 3.6. Kessler could serve as Tracy Jackson Davis' backup or compete against him for the Warriors' starting center spot. Warriors coach Steve Kerr is familiar with Kessler's game after the Jazz's young center played for him with Team USA in last year's FIBA World Cup in Manila, Philippines, after being named to the All-NBA Rookie First Team. Kessler, the 22nd overall pick in 2022, was part of the Jazz's haul from the Rudy Gobert trade. He's become dispensable with the Jazz high on Duke standout Kyle Filipowski, this year's 32nd overall pick. A trade for Kessler could mean veteran center Kevin Looney, whose $8 million contract for next season was guaranteed, is a top candidate for the Warriors to flip for a future draft asset or include a larger deal at the February trade deadline. Moody hasn't earned a consistent role in Steve Kerr's rotation unlike the other Warriors' young players Jonathan Kuminga, Brandon Podziemski, and Jackson Davis. Instead of wasting Moody's talent on the bench, the Warriors are better off flipping him before they lose him to restricted free agency after next season. During his exit interview, Kerr told Moody to quicken the release of his jumper and his decision-making overall, per the Mercury News. Kerr hinted Moody's role would be the same if he returns next season unless the Warriors' front office unclog their glut of wings. He's in his 3rd year, he hasn't played a ton, so you need reps to improve on this stuff, Kerr said. Yeah, I think next year's a big year for Moses. I would love to get him out there more. But when you look at the roster, hey, there's just a lot of people and we haven't always been able to get him on the floor. With the Warriors adding more veteran wings Buddy Hield and Kyle Anderson, Moody will again be on the outside looking in. In January, Joe Dumas of 95.7 The Game reported that Moody's camp is growing frustrated with his lack of a consistent role. He's in the rotation one day. He's out of the rotation one day, Dumas said. For the lack of a better term, he almost seems like the sacrificial lamb, so to speak. Whenever there's a logjam, he's gonna be the guy that falls out. From what I've been told, Moses loves playing in the Bay Area and he loves playing for the Warriors. I think it's understandable that someone in his position with a lot of talent, young, would be frustrated and would want a clear path to playing time. Either here or somewhere else. Moody only logged 17.5 minutes per game last season, averaging 8.1 points on 6.4 field goal attempts. 3-team trade pitch would swap Steph Curry for All-Star forward. The Golden State Warriors are in a holding pattern, while Steph Curry enters the tail end of his prime. If they can't find common ground, the two sides could part ways via trade. X, formerly known as Twitter, is abuzz after Curry removed the Warriors from his Instagram bio. After playing with LeBron James in the Paris Olympics, and winning gold medals to boot, fans are wondering if the long-rumored team-up is finally in the cards. The trade would require first-round compensation from both the Knicks and the Lakers. But in a trade involving Curry, it would be a pick of the litter for the Warriors. He averaged 26.4 points, 5.1 assists, and 4.5 rebounds in 74 regular season appearances with Golden State last year. In any trade that sees Curry leave, it's hard to know whether the Warriors would prefer a hard reset and rebuild or maintaining a playoff roster. Randle would allow them to toe both timelines. Alongside a young core of Brandon Podziemski and Jonathan Kuminga, the two-time All-NBA forward would provide a nucleus. Randle can serve as a point forward, an offensive hub that Golden State can develop young talent around. He averaged 24 points, 9.2 rebounds, and 5 assists in 46 regular season appearances with New York last season. Randle, like Curry, is eligible for an extension. But no deal is imminent, according to SNY's Ian Begley. The Knicks and Randle can agree to an extension at any time between now and June 30, Begley reported on August 16. Based on how things have played out since August 3, it seems like neither side is in a rush to get something done. A prove-it year for Randle, amid the Warriors' transition away from the Curry era, could benefit all parties. Golden State could simultaneously boost his trade value, while he boosts his market value, and help to develop their young core. Robinson and Russell represent less sure, but similar avenues as veteran players under contract. Curry's activity on Instagram doesn't mean a trade is imminent. It almost never has in the history of professional athletes and their social media activity. But there's also Golden State's failed swing at a trade for James to consider. They made an approach to the Lakers at last season's trade deadline, and according to John Hollinger of The Athletic, had Curry's blessing. Curry had given a thumbs up to the idea, which reflects a level of comfort between the two even before they worked so beautifully together en route to Olympic gold, Hollinger reported on August 13. After losing Klay Thompson to free agency, the Warriors have struck out in two trade ventures, one for Lauri Markkanen and the other for Paul George, who elected to join the Philadelphia 76ers in free agency. The 36-year-old star is also eligible for an extension, though according to Anthony Slater, no deal is imminent for Curry. He, Curry, flew back from Paris a few days ago and plans to unplug from basketball-related business for a few weeks, Slater reported on August 15. So any contract conversation isn't expected to take place in the near future, league sources said. Curry can add 1 year and $62.6 million to his current deal, which runs through the 2025 to 2026 season. But if he becomes more invested in the idea of playing with James, or next season starts off slow, things could come to a head in the Bay. Stranger things have happened in the player empowerment era of the NBA. NBA legend floats Giannis Antetekounmpo to Golden State Warriors trade. The Golden State Warriors have failed to acquire a high-level second option for Steph Curry this NBA offseason. Several reports suggested that was their goal entering the summer, but their pursuit of Paul George ended in the 9-time All-Star signing with the Philadelphia 76ers, and their pursuit of Lauri Markkanen ended in him signing a long-term extension to remain with the Utah Jazz. This leaves the Warriors without any great trade options to both maximize the final years of Steph Curry's superstardom while also staying in a good position for their post-Curry future. Recognizing this dynamic, NBA legend Paul Pierce floated a Giannis Antetokounmpo to Golden State trade. The only way I see Golden State getting back to where they need to get back to is if they can find a way to get Giannis over there, Pierce said to his former Boston Celtics teammate Kevin Garnett on an episode of KG Certified. Garnett suggested Pierce must have some inside information if he is floating such a trade between Golden State and the Milwaukee Bucks, but Pierce insisted this is just his opinion on how the Warriors can re-establish themselves as contenders. Insisting he has no inside information on a potential Antetokounmpo to Golden State deal, Pierce said it is simply the one scenario he believes can revive the Warriors in the final years of Curry's superstardom. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Antetokounmpo? Leave your opinion in the comments.